Namaste, Dhanavat Pranam. By the instruction and grace of our spiritual master, Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Sripad Bhakti Madhava Puri Maharaj, we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Canto 1, Chapter 19, Text 5. Ato vihaye mam amum chalokam vimharshito heyataya purastat krishangri sevam adhimanyamana upavishat prayam amarchanhadyam. Maharaj Parikshit sat down firmly on the banks of the Ganges to concentrate his mind in Krishna consciousness, rejecting all other practices of self-realization. Because transcendental loving service to Krishna is the greatest achievement, superseding all other methods. Purport. For a great devotee like Maharaj Parikshit, none of the material planets, even the topmost Brahmaloka, is as desirable as Goloka Vrindavan, the abode of Lord Sri Krishna, the primeval Lord and original personality of Godhead. This earth is one of the innumerable material planets within the universe, and there are innumerable universes also within the compass of the Mahat Tattva. The devotees are told by the Lord and his representatives, the spiritual masters or acharyas, that not one of the planets within all the innumerable universes is suitable for the residential purposes of a devotee. The devotee always desires to go back home, back to Godhead, just to become one of the associates of the Lord in the capacity of a servitor, friend, parent, or conjugal lover of the Lord, either in one of the innumerable Vaikuntha planets or in Goloka Vrindavan, the planet of Lord Sri Krishna. All these planets are eternally situated in the spiritual sky, the Paravyoma, which is on the other side of the causal ocean within the Mahatattva. Maharaj Parikshit was already aware of all this information due to his accumulated piety and birth in a high family of devotees, Vaishnavas, and thus he was not at all interested in the material planets. Modern scientists are very eager to reach the moon by material arrangements, but they cannot conceive of the higher planet of this universe. But a devotee like Maharaj Parikshit does not care a fig for the moon, or for that matter, any of the material planets. So when he was assured of his death on a fixed date, he became more determined in the transcendental loving service of Lord Krishna by complete fasting on the bank of the transcendental river Yamuna, which flows down by the capital of Hastinapur in the Delhi state. Both the Ganges and the Yamuna are Amartya, transcendental rivers, and the Yamuna is still more sanctified for the following reasons. Text 6. Yabhaila Sachri Tulasi Vimshira Krishnangriren Bhabhyadhi Kambunetri Punati Lokan Ubhayatra Seshan Kastamna Seveta Marishamana. The river by which the king sat to fast carries the most auspicious water, which is mixed with the dust of the lotus feet of the Lord and tulsi leaves. Therefore, that water sanctifies the three worlds inside and outside, and even sanctifies Lord Shiva and other demigods. Consequently, everyone who is destined to die must take shelter of this river. Purport. Maharaj Parikshit, just after receiving the news of his death, within 7 days at once retired from family life and shifted himself to the sacred bank of Yamuna River. Generally, it is said that the king took shelter on the bank of the Ganges, but according to Srila Jiva Gosvāmī, the king took shelter on the bank of the Yamuna. Srila Jiva Gosvāmī's statement appears to be more accurate because of the geographical situation. Maharaj Parikshit resided in his capital, Hastinapur, situated near present Delhi, and the river Yamuna flows down past the city. Naturally, the king would take shelter of the river Yamuna because she was flowing past his palace door. And as far as sanctity is concerned, the river Yamuna is more directly connected with the Lord than the Ganges. The Lord sanctified the river Yamuna from the beginning of his transcendental pastimes in the world. while his father Vasudeva was crossing the Yamuna with the baby Lord Krishna for a safe place on Gokula on the other bank from the river of Mathura. The Lord fell down in the river, and by dust of his lotus feet, the river at once became sanctified. It is especially mentioned herein that Maharaj Parikshit took shelter of that particular river, which is beautifully flowing, carrying the dust of the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, mixed with tulsi leaves. And Lord Krishna's lotus feet are always besmeared with the tulsi leaves, and thus as soon as his lotus feet contact the water of the Ganges and the Yamuna, the rivers become at once sanctified. The Lord, however, contacted the river Yamuna more than the Ganges. According to the Varaha Purana, as quoted by Srila Jiva Gosvāmī, there is no difference between the water of the Ganges and the Yamuna. But when the water of the Ganges is sanctified 100 times, it is called Yamuna. Similarly, it is said in the scriptures that 1,000 names of Vishnu are equal to one name of Rama, and 3 names of Lord Rama are equal to one name of Krishna. Text 7. Iti vyavachidya sapandaveya prayo pavisham prati Vishnu padyam dadho mukundangrim ananya bhavo muni vrato mukta samasta sangha. Thus the king, the worthy descendant of the Pandavas, decided once and for all, and sat on the Ganges bank to fast until death, and give himself up to the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, who alone is able to award liberation. So, freeing himself from all kinds of associations and attachments, he accepted the vows of the sage. Purport. The water of the Ganges sanctifies all the 3 worlds, including the gods and demigods, because it emanates from the lotus feet of the personality of Godhead, Vishnu. Lord Krishna is the fountainhead of the principle of Vishnu Tattva, and therefore a shelter of his lotus feet can deliver one from all sins, including an offense committed by a king unto a Brahmana. Maharaj Parikshit therefore decided to meditate upon the Ganges or the Yamuna, giving one a chance to remember the Lord continuously. Maharaj Parikshit freed himself from all sorts of material association and meditated upon the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, and that is the way of liberation. To be free from all material association means to cease completely from committing any further sins. To meditate upon the lotus feet of the Lord means to become free from the effects of all previous sins. The conditions of the material world are so made that one has to commit sins willingly or unwillingly, and the best example is Maharaj Parikshit himself, who was a recognized, sinless, pious king, but he also became a victim of an offense, even though he was ever unwilling to commit such a mistake. He was cursed also, but because he was a great devotee of the Lord, even such reverses of life became favorable. The principle is that one should not willingly commit any sin in his life and should constantly remember the lotus feet of the Lord without deviation. Only in such a mood will the Lord help the devotee make regular progress toward the path of liberation and thus attain the lotus feet of the Lord. Even if they are accidental sins committed by the devotee, the Lord saves the surrendered soul from all sins, as confirmed in all scriptures. Svapadamulam bhajata priyasya tyanya bhavasya hari paresha vikarma yachotpatitam katanchid dunoti sarvam harishani vishta. Bhagavatam 11.5.42. Okay, next verse. Next verse is verse 8. Tatro pajagmor bhuvanam punana mahan bhava munayasa sishya prayena tirtha bhigama padeshai svayam hi tirthani punanti shanta. At that time, all the great minds and thinkers, accompanied by their disciples and sages who could verily sanctify a place of pilgrimage just by their presence, arrived there on the plea of making a pilgrim's journey. Purport. When Maharaj Parikshit sat down on the bank of the Ganges, the news spread in all directions of the universe, and the great-minded sages who could follow the importance of the occasion all arrived there on the plea of pilgrimage. Actually, they came to meet Maharaj Parikshit and not to take a bath of pilgrimage, because all of them were competent enough to sanctify places of pilgrimage. Common men go to pilgrimage sites to get themselves purified of all sins. Thus, the places of pilgrimage become overburdened with the sins of others. But when such sages visit overburdened places of pilgrimage, they sanctify the places by their presence. Therefore, the sages who came to meet Maharaj Parikshit were not very much interested in getting themselves purified like common men, but on the plea of taking a bath in that place, they came to meet Maharaj Parikshit because they could foresee that Srimad Bhagavatam would be spoken by Śukadeva Gosvāmī. All of them wanted to take advantage of the great occasion. Texts 9 through 10. Atrurvaistas chavanas Atrurvasistas chayavanhash sarardvan aristenemir brigur angirascha parasarogadhi sutotarama utatya indra pramadhe tavhamho medhatirhir devala arastsheno bharadvajo gautama pipalada Maitraya Urva Kavasha Kumbhayonir Dvaipayano Bhagavan Nararascha. From the different parts of the universe, there arrived great sages like Atri, Chaivana, Saradvan, Aristenemi, Brigu, Vashista, Parasara, Vishvamitra, Angira, Parasurama, Uttaya, Indra Pramada, Idmavahu, Medhatiti, Devala, Aristeshana, Arstishena, Bharadvaja, Gautama, Pipalada, Maitreya, Arva, Kavasa, Kumbhayoni, Dvaipayana, and the great personality Narada. Purport. Chaivana is a great sage and one of the sons of Bhrigu Muni. He was born prematurely when his pregnant mother was kidnapped. Chaivana is one of the 6 sons of his father. Bhrigu. When Brahmaji was performing a great sacrifice on behalf of Varuna, Maharishi Bhrigu was born from the sacrificial fire. He was a great sage, and his very dear wife, Puloma. His very dear wife was Puloma. He could travel in space like Durvasa, Narada, and others, and he used to visit other planets of the universe. Before the battle of Kurukshetra, he tried to stop the battle. Sometimes he instructed Bharadvaja Muni about astronomical evolution, and he is the author of the great Bhrigu Samhita, the great astrological calculation. He explained how air, fire, water, and earth are generated from ether. He explained how the air in the stomach works and regulates the intestines. As a great philosopher, he logically established the eternity of the living entity, Mahabharata. He was also a great anthropologist, and the theory of evolution was long ago explained by him. He was a scientific propounder of the 4 divisions and orders of human society, known as the Varnashram Dharma Institution. Varnashram Institution. He converted the Kshatriya king Vitavya into a Brahmana. Vashishta, see Bhagavatam 1.9.6. Parasara. He is the grandson of Vashishta Muni and father of Vyasadeva. He is the son of Maharishi Shakti, and his mother's name was Adrishyati. He was in the womb of his mother when he was only 12 years old. He was in the womb of his mother when she was only 12 years old. And from within the womb of his mother, he learned the Vedas. His father was killed by a demon, Kamasapada, and to avenge this, he wanted to annihilate the whole world. He was restrained, however, by his grandfather, Vashishta. He then performed a Rakshasa killing yajna, but Maharishi Pulastya restrained him. He begot Vyasadeva, being attracted by Satyavati, who was to become the wife of Maharaj Santanu. By the blessings of Parasara, Satyavati became fragrant for miles. He was present also during the time of Bhisma's death. He was the spiritual master of Maharaj Janaka and a great devotee of Lord Shiva. He is the author of many Vedic scriptures and sociological directions. Gadhi Sutta, or Vishvamitra, a great sage of austerity and mystic power. He is famous as Gadhi Sutta because his father was Gadhi, a powerful king of the province of Kanyakubja, part of the Uttara Pradesh. Although he was a Kshatriya by birth, he became a Brahmana in the very same body by the power of his spiritual achievements. He picked a quarrel with Vashishta Muni when he was a Kshatriya king and performed a great sacrifice in cooperation with Matanga Muni, and thus was able to vanquish the sons of Vashishta. He became a great yogi, and yet he failed to check his senses and thus was obliged to become the father of Sakuntala, the beauty queen of world history. Once, when he was a Kshatriya king, he visited the hermitage of Vashishta Muni, and he was given a royal reception. Vishvamitra wanted from Vashishta a cow named Nandini, and the Muni refused to deliver it. Vishvamitra stole the cow, and thus there was a quarrel between the sage and the king. Vishvamitra was defeated by the spiritual strength of Vasista, and thus the king decided to become a Brahmana. Before becoming a Brahmana, he underwent severe austerity on the bank of the Kausika. He was also one who tried to stop the Kurukshetra war. Angira. He is one of the 6 mental sons of Brahma and the father of Brihaspati, the great learned priest of the demigods and the heavenly planets. He was born of the semen of Brahmaji given to a cinder of fire. Uttatya and Samvarta are his sons. It is said that he is still performing austerity and chanting the holy name of the Lord at a place known as Alokananda on the banks of the Ganges. Parasurama. See Srimad Bhagavatam 1.9.6. Uttatya, one of the 3 sons of Maharishi Angira. He was the spiritual master of Maharaj Mandhata. He married Bhadra, the daughter of Soma, the moon. Varuna kidnapped his wife, Bhadra, and to retaliate the offense of the god of water, he drank all the water of the world. Medhatiti, an old sage of yore, an assembly member of the heavenly kingdom Indradev. His son was Kanva Muni, who brought up Sakuntala in the forest. He was promoted to the heavenly planet by strictly following the principles of retired life, Vanaprastha. Devala, a great authority like Narada Muni and Vyasadeva. His good name is on the list of authorities mentioned in Bhagavad Gita when Arjuna acknowledged Lord Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He met Maharaj Yudhisthira after the Battle of Kurukshetra, and he was the elder brother of Daumya, a priest of the Pandava family. Like the Kshatriyas, he also allowed his daughter to select her own husband in a Svayamvara meeting, and at that ceremony, all the bachelor sons of the rishis were invited. According to some, he is not a Sita Devala. Bharadvaja, see Srimad Bhagavatam 1.9.6. Gautama, one of the 7 great sages of the universe. Sardvan Gautama was one of his sons. Persons in the Gautama Gotra dynasty today are either his family descendants or in his disciplic succession. The Brahmanas who profess Gautama Gotra are generally family descendants, and the Kshatriyas and Vaishyas who profess Gautama Gotra are all in the line of his disciplic succession. He was the husband of the famous Ahalya, who turned into stone when Indradev, the king of heaven, molested her. Ahalya was delivered by Lord Ramachandra. Gautama was the grandfather of Kripacharya, one of the heroes of the Battle of Kurukshetra. Maitreya, a great rishi of yore. He was the spiritual master of Vidura and a great religious authority. He advised Dhritarashtra to keep good relations with the Pandavas. Duryodhana disagreed and thus was cursed by him. He met Vyasadeva and had religious discourses with him. Thus ends our reading for today. We'll continue from text 11 on Friday, hopefully. All glories to Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Sripad Bhakti Madhava Puri Maharaj Ki Jai. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Gurudev, Srila Acharya Dev, Srila Shanta Maharaj Ki Jai. All glories to our Rupa Nuga Guru Varga Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the worldwide devotees, Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Jai Nishingapali Dham Ki Jai, Jai Navadvip Dham Ki Jai, Mayapur Dham Ki Jai, Ekachakra Dham Ki Jai, Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai, Baladev Jagannath Subhadra Ju Ki Jai, Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai, Giri Govardhan Gupta Govardhan Dham Ki Jai, Shamkund Radhakund Ki Jai, Tulsi Devi Bhakti Devi Vrinda Devi Ki Jai, Nitai Gora Pramanandi, Hari 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 Bo. Dhanavad Pranams.